Hi ladies and gentlemen, we're back for the second part of arithmetic sequences in our second lesson. Remember our essential question says, how do I write the recursive and explicit formulas for an arithmetic sequence? So I'm going to go ahead and explain what the recursive equation is saying in words first before I actually write it out. And this is actually how we start. So it says the next term. How do I get the next term? Well, I take my previous term and I add or subtract the common difference. And this only works if I actually have a starting point. So part of my equation has to be listing my starting point. Okay? Sorry, that's kind of crammed in there on that first line. But now we're going to write it out mathematically, in mathematic language, what it means. So here we go. And so how I write my, well, first I'm going to use function notation to describe this. And why I'm using function notation is because that's what you're going to see in most of your math classes from now on, is function notation. So we're going to use function notation. Function notation is when you see f of x or g of x or h of x, that's function notation. So that's the one we're going to use because that's what you're going to see the most. So how do I write my next term? Well, my next term mathematically would be f of n. N is my term number. What number that is? Is it term 1, term 2, term 3, term 4? Which term am I trying to find? And then, so to find my next term, I take my previous term, and my previous term is just n minus 1. So I take whichever term I'm on. So if I'm trying to find term 3, I'm going to do 3 minus 1, which is term 2. I'm going to take term 2, and I'm going to do something to it. Well, what am I going to do to it? I'm going to add or subtract my common difference. Right? And we know how to find out my common difference, right? We've done it a few times in this lesson and the previous lesson. And then most important, we have to have this part. I have to say f of 0, sorry, not 0, f of 1, my first term, f of 1, what is my first term? Okay? Where do I start at? F of 1 equals whatever it is in my sequence. So what does f of 1 equal? Depends on your sequence, right? So it's the first term in your sequence. So I'm going to write that here. First term in your sequence. Okay, and that's how I write it. And it's the same every single time. I do the same thing every time for my recursive equation. And that's all there is to it. That's it. Okay? Now we're going to move on to the explicit equation. A little bit harder, but not much. Okay, and I want you to remember one thing, and I know you know this equation. It's just going to, how we're going to fill it in is just a little different. I know you know this. What is this equation? Y equals mx plus b. Okay, right? What is y equals mx plus b? Yeah, it's point slope form. Did I just say point slope form? Oh my goodness. It's slope intercept form. Wow, it's been a rough day. Okay, so now I need to define my variables in there. We know what x is, we know what y is. Okay, well, what is m in this case? Yes, m is slope. M is still slope. In my sequence, what is my slope? My slope is my common difference. Common difference. So my common difference, once I know my common difference, all I have to do is put that there, whether it's a +3, a -1/2, whatever it happens to be, I put that there, and then my x goes there. Okay, and what is b? B is a little harder to find because I actually have to do a little bit of work to find that. B is my 0th term. Okay, it's the term before the first one. So I have my first term, and I know how to get to my second term, and I know how to get to my third term. Well, if I know how to do that, can I get back one before the first term? Can I find that 0th term? And I'm going to show you how to do that. Of course I am. So that's it. That's how I find my explicit equation for an arithmetic equation. And once I have that explicit equation, I can find whatever term they want me to. So if they want me to, and I'm going to highlight this because we're going to talk about it in just a second, but it says find a sub 100. That means they want me to find the 100th term. Do you hear me? The 100th term. So if I wanted to use the recursive equation, I could do that. That just means I need to find all 99 terms before they find the 100th one. Okay, or I could use my explicit equation, plug 100 in where x is, because remember x, this number x, we defined it on the last page. This number is my term number, right? So I plug 100 in where that x is and solve. And I'm going to show you how to do that right now. We're going to practice some problems, and then you're going to go ahead and do some practice problems. Okay, I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's go ahead and read the directions here. I'm going to move it over a little bit. So the directions say write the recursive. Again, sorry about that. Write the recursive and the explicit equation for each sequence, then find a sub 100. So I have 3 things I need to do. Okay, 3 things. So first thing I need to do is find the recursive equation. Recursive. I'm going to just write it right there, recursive. So what do I need to know to find my recursive equation? Well, the first little bit is easy. I should have written that a little, I need a little space, so let me lower that down a little bit. So what do I need to know to find my recursive equation? Well, to find my recursive equation, I need to find, look, what do I need to find? I need to find the common difference. Okay, so I'm going to find my common difference. How do I do that? Well, how do I get from 13 to 23 and 23 to 33 and 33 to 43? Add 10. Very good. So my common difference is plus 10. Okay, great. So now I'm going to fill in my recursive equation. I have it. My recursive equation is right up here. So I'm going to say f of n is going to equal f of n minus 1 plus 10. And then I need to find I need my starting point, and that says f of 1 equals 13. So now I know where my starting point is. So f of 1 is 13. F of 2 means I take f of 1 and add 10. So 13 plus 10 is 23. And to find my third term, I take my second term and add 10. That's what it's saying. Okay? Second part says find the explicit equation. Okay? So I know it's going to be y. I'm going to say y equals, m is my common difference. Well, what's my common difference? 10. 10x plus or minus. I'm not going to put a plus or minus because I don't know what it's going to be yet. I want to find my 0th term. So I'm going to make a little table here. First term, second term, third term, fourth term, 0th term. So how do I get from here to here? What do I add 10 to get 13? That's what I'm going to ask myself. What do I add 10 to get 13? Well, that number would be 3, right? So it's 10x plus 3. And that's my explicit equation. Done. And then the last thing says find f of 100. So I'm going to take my explicit equation, and wherever there's an x in my explicit equation, I'm going to plug 100. So I've got 10 times 100 plus 3. Well, 10 times, and you can get out your calculator and do this. 10 times 100 is 1,000 plus 3 equals 1,003. And that's it, done. Okay, so we're going to go to the next example. Okay. Okay, next example. I'm going to make it a little bigger. Since I've zoomed up and I can't see my recursive equation, it's okay. There we go. So what do I need to do first? I need to find my common difference, okay? So how do I get from 1 to 6, and 6 to 11, and 11 to 16, and 16 to 21? Add 5. Great. Okay, good job. So my recursive equation is going to be f of n equals f of n minus 1 plus 5. And then my starting point is f of 1 equals 1. And 1 plus 5 is 6, and 6 plus 5 is 11, and that tells me where to go. Okay, nice job, you guys. And now my explicit. So I know y equals my common difference, which I didn't write up here. I'm so sorry. My common difference was plus 5. So I've got 5x. And then I'm going to make a little table up here. So I've got my first term, second term, third term, fourth term, fifth term, and I want to find my 0th term. So what number do I add 5 to get 1? So the easy way to do that would be 1 minus 5, negative 4. So my 0th term is negative 4. So I have y equals 5x minus 4. And there's my explicit equation. And then I want to find f of, I'm still in the same thing, so f of 100 is going to be 5 times 100 minus 4, just 500 minus 4, which is 496. 496. Good job. Okay, we're going to do one more, and then you guys are going to practice, okay? So here we go. So we're going to find my common difference. What do I add to negative 5 to get negative 7? Minus 2. I think I'm going to subtract 2. Subtract 2, subtract 2. And you can check on your calculator. You can do negative 5 minus 2, and you should get negative 7 if you're not sure. Always check your work if you're not sure, okay? So I've got my recursive equation. Recursive is going to be f of n equals f of n minus 1 minus 2 this time. And my starting point, f of 1, equals negative 5. Same thing, okay? Equals negative 5. And my explicit is going to be y equals negative 2x. And then let's come up here. So I've got first, second, third, fourth, fifth, 0th term. So what number do I add negative 2 to get negative 5? Negative 3, good. So negative 2x minus 3. Good job, you guys. Okay, and then I want to find f of 100. So that's going to be negative 2 times 100 minus 3 is negative 200 minus 3 should be negative 203. Okay, you guys. You're going to try this now. It's in the program we're using, you're going to do one bit at a time. I'm not going to make you do all 3 things at the same time. So you're going to, first you'll probably find the recursive equation a couple times, then you'll find the explicit equation, and then you'll find f of whatever term. It may not be the 100th term, it might be the 27th term, but whatever, I'm going to slide back up here. Whatever number is right here is what you're going to plug in for x. So if it's 27, it would be 10 times 27 plus 3, right? 10 times 27 plus 3. Whatever number is there. Okay? So if you have any questions, please let your teacher know. If you have a teacher, you can ask. If not, I have some more. Also, at the end of each unit is some more online help if this is not helping you. Thanks, guys. I will talk to you in our next lesson. Bye.